a Grunt Reacts video.
Why are we doing this? Oh,
because a bunch of you fucking grunts sent it to me, asking me about soldiers' loadouts that you found on YouTube. Alright guys, this is every piece of gear in a Cav Scout's 72-hour bag. Let's go.
Today I'm going to go over the loadout bag for an Army Cavalry Scout.
Alright, got a high-speed staff sergeant here, gonna give us the rundown. Let's go.
And we report all information to the commander so that the ground commander can make the best decision to fight the fight. So,
otherwise known as, I almost joined the infantry.
You will have some of your sustainment items, such as your MREs, or your, also known as your meals ready to eat. All right, they all come in bags. You just open up the bag and you can eat however you need to.
Do you have a preference of MRE?
Break your MREs down, man. Break them down. There's so much wasted garbage in there that you're not gonna eat.
It comes with an awesome cookie.
Look at this guy with his fucking Kevlar. What's going on here? Wow. All right.
Really good cookie. And then in my other pouch that I always have ready to go, I have my map.
Wait, so that's all he had in that bottom pouch of his medium ruck? Wow, okay. By the way, the medium ruck is outstanding. It's one of the favorite bags I ever got issued.
Markers. It allows us to draw out the graphics for all the operational portion.
Guys, you need like 1 or 2 pins in the field. Even if you're messing around with maps, you're not, for the most part, you're not drawing all the colors on the map.
This is just basic notes, so if I ever forget my formulas, it's just something to have all my formulas in. Has my range cards, all my, just don't forget stuff.
That's good. Carrying a smart card with you. Smartphones don't always work.
I have my graphics. I keep it in a Ziploc bag, so if it rains, it doesn't get destroyed by the moisture. So this right here is what a basic map would look like with some graphics. These are your NAIs, your enemy positions.
He's actually drawing real graphics on his field map. All right. That's pretty high speed.
Or I need to plot my directions. I can know how far I need to go with the protractor. There's a lot of math with a Cavalry Scout. You got to know the radius of the curve, the grade of the slope. Next will be calculator. This right here will allow us to rapidly get the correct answer. Then I have...
Yeah, I know we don't want to depend on smartphones in the field, but you're going to have a smartphone anyway. I have these giant bulletproof, bomb-proof field phones that are heavy-duty, waterproof and everything. They have a calculator on them. I know everybody wants to go old school with stuff like that, but I know this guy has a phone on him. So now he's carrying 2 devices that do math. That adds up to ounces, grams, and pounds in your ruck.
Have your notepad and pen, so you can copy down reports and you can receive all the information that comes through the radio. Then you'll have your night light with red lens.
Night light.
It's at night because white light will travel further than red lens. That way you're not detected. Because as a Cavalry Scout, you got to move undetected behind enemy lines.
You're not moving with a red light, even if it's a red light. You're moving with your nods or the naked eye. Something for you civilian guys, everybody getting into preparedness and all this. Red lens does not mean nobody's going to see the light. Go outside, get away from the city lights, and just sit out in the darkness for a couple minutes. Let your eyes adjust, and you will pick up every tiny little light, everything out there. So if you're not using night vision to do what you're doing at night, which he hasn't pointed that out yet. If you're not using night vision, even with a red lens, you are covering it with something. That's why the old military poncho or rain jacket is still a necessity. Yeah, throw that shit over your head.
And then you'll have your extra batteries for the headlamp. Because again, this is a 72-hour bag, so you have to ensure that...
Okay, I'm starting to see a theme here. This is something they just grabbed a student. His clothes look pretty clean, so he's, you know, they just, hey, come talk about the stuff you got in your bag. It'll get us some views and everything. Everything he has is still in the original package. You know, he hasn't even considered this, so I'm going to beat him up just because he's a staff sergeant. But it's probably mostly just, you know, none of this was thought through.
You can sustain yourself for 72 hours. And then you got your face paint. This is what you'll apply on your face, your hands, your neck, your ears, everywhere.
Face paint went away in the global war on terror. It was a good thing when I went to sniper school in 2005. They kicked us in our ass and reinforced the importance of it. Now these days, every soldier carries it with them, if not for field use, but also the mirror on it, emergency uses.
The way you are not detected so easily.
Also looking for ticks up under your lovelies.
And then you have your compass. So it gives you your direction in degrees and mils. And then there's
Compass should be on your body.
methods to hold this.
He's got his Alice rig, his setup.
What I'll do is I'll hold it up, put it up against my face.
It should be on there somewhere tied down.
Front aperture, see what it's pointing at. If it's pointing at a tree, I'm heading to that tree. And the center hold method is just straight out in front of you. In the main pouch.
Wow, so just those few items, that's all he had crammed in those two outside pockets. What a waste of space.
Keep my E-tool, my entrenching tool.
Put that on a pouch on the outside.
That way, when I gotta dig my fighting positions or if I have to bury booby traps or anything like that, I have my tool needed. So you extend it all the way out. It has some sharp.
I'm skipping through for y'all's sake.
So you cut down stuff. So
Okay, we know how to use an E-tool.
then you got your binos. You got your M22 binos.
Dude, is this the first binoculars model the Army ever came up with? I have an M22 that I got in 2005 that's like this big. I still carry those around. What the fuck is this, man? And also, the modern binos are small enough you carry those on your body as well, especially if you're wearing your field gear. What is this? These things weigh
right
2 pounds at least, man. 370 bucks for that shit.
Cavalry scout for a call for fire. This is where you call in artillery. This is your ASIP radio. This is what we use to scout. This is our primary weapon.
So much lighter than the old Singars.
You can reach further with your signal.
Our antenna costs $650.
Has a battery. So the battery depends on what power on the radio. If you're on high, one battery can get you 8 to 10 hours. If you're on low, it can usually last you about 12 hours of battery. Put the cover on, secure it down. First thing I would normally do is I'd put the antenna in.
How many extra batteries are you carrying, dude?
One good signal. Next thing you want to do is you want so inside the little rubber seal, because you need that rubber seal.
All right, he's going into a radio class.
Locks in. And then in my rucksack, I will have my wet weather bag.
No extra batteries for the radio. I know he mentioned the power and battery capacity, but dude, you got to carry at least one extra battery. This is a 72-hour bag. Yeah, at least one extra battery. I'm carrying 3.
The wet weather bag prevents all my uniform pieces from getting wet or anything from spilling out, so it's not a mess in my bag.
The wet weather bag is awesome to help make your freaking ruck float as well.
Your boots, because as a cavalry scout, you will walk a lot.
All right, this was a big problem for me in the grunt world. Extra boots. Some jackass would always put it on a packing list for a couple nights, and yes, your boots can get destroyed, but it's usually going to be the laces or the sole starts to come off. But you can repair those in the field. You can make basic repairs. Like, you should not be carrying extra boots. Guys, I would use one pair of boots in an entire deployment. My first one was 13 months. Yeah, they got worn down. I had to replace laces. I had to use shoe goo on the sole, but god damn, 2 pairs of boots for a 72-hour mission.
Need a pair of boots.
Who the fuck is in charge here?
Have extra uniform. Always set up, ready to go.
Okay, the extra uniform thing is also retarded, but I know why it's there, because in modern times, out in the field, you can't just go out there and do your job and that's it. It's good enough. You're always going to have brass, some sergeant major or colonel coming out there to inspect you and check on soldiers. And somebody is always worried about how the soldiers are going to look. For some reason these days, you can't look like you've been fucked up in the field for a couple days. So they will actually have you put on a clean uniform and shave and look nice and pretty and everything. But still, think about the volume and the weight and just the waste of space an extra pair of uniform is. Again, it's a 72-hour bag, all right? One uniform is fine. And we're not even talking about staying clean and dry. You're not going to stay clean in the field, guaranteed. The only thing you could do about dryness is just carry extra underlayers, but a whole extra uniform, no way, man. That's basic field craft, repairing your uniform.
So depending on the temperature, I'll bring out seasonal gear so I ensure I don't get sick or cold. Or in some cases wet if it's raining. These are my waffle tops and bottoms. So my thermal.
Waffle tops.
Everybody knows them.
I always had those.
And I'll have extra.
Okay, 3 extra t-shirts for 72 hours. No. And socks.
Again, as a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout.
Extra pairs of socks. Yeah, outstanding. But it's the same old OD green bullshit. If you guys don't know, the Army used to issue these black, it was like a wool synthetic nylon mix. They were okay, but they were pretty thick and weren't form-fitting enough. The Global War on Terror, the Army went to these horrible green, it's like almost all cotton socks. I don't think there's any wool in them, so your feet are never warm in those fucking things. They rot your feet, especially in a wet environment, and they're just awful. I mean, Fox River makes some really good duty boot socks that are AR 670-1 compliant, because out in the field and in combat, soldiers always care about AR 671. Always. I see so many soldiers wearing these garbage socks still, and then they complain about foot problems. Like, guys, you got to get some wool synthetic socks, man. Drop the fucking cotton Army bullshit. They're horrible. These days, I would go on the field with 2 for a month, and I would be fine. Rotate those out. Wool. Take care of your feet. You don't need all those fucking socks. So he's got extra boots, extra useless socks.
Gets too close. The M4 is a 5.56 millimeter magazine.
Our M4 costs $700. Dude, you can get a PSA fucking blemish rifle for $399. It's not full automatic, but yeah, whatever.
Fed, gas operated, semi-automatic.
It's because it's government contract.
Handheld shoulder fired weapon.
Okay, so this is on the production side. Why do we have a definitely overweight soldier in any kind of military video? This is obviously to get them views, maybe to push Cav Scouts, maybe help recruiting. But why put a big guy in there?
When all this is packed back into operation configuration, it is approximately 30 to 30.
Okay, 30 to 35 pounds, and we get a good overview here. Guys, what's missing? What's missing in this pack? Did he talk about his water? I would definitely carry more food, because 3 MREs, which you haven't even stripped to put the good stuff in there, it's not enough. Extra uniform could go, extra boots, get the fuck out of here, drop the calculator, it's extra weight, get a real pair of binos. Extra shirts, no, maybe 1. Snivel gear, good. Extra batteries for the radio, but still, what the fuck, man? And did he say how much ammo he's carrying?
Weapon. Magazine fed. Gap is a 5.5 in case the enemy gets too. But this will be my alternate.
Alright, well, he didn't mention how many mags he carries, but the standard soldier's loadout is 7 magazines, 210 rounds, but pretty much all the grunts, most of the combat arms, we would go up to 10. You know, I was a team leader, so I had grenades and for the 203 and all this bullshit. Okay, so he didn't mention water, and I know this is modern Army stuff, but we are thinking about new wars coming up. Where is his field craft and survival stuff? Like, if he's talking about bringing Snivel gear, all he has is his waffle tops. Nothing to improvise, any other type of warmth. I know you can grab from the ground around you, but also I don't see any rain gear. And if you're going to the field, you're bringing some kind of rain gear. I don't see any type of shelter or sleep system, not even addressing that. 72 hours, guys, even if you're being super stealthy, you're gonna have to be prepared to sleep some kind of way. And unless it's in the dead of summer and you're down in the deep south, you're gonna need some kind of shelter system and sleep system, something. And no poncho, no overhead cover, nothing like that. Survival stuff, you should have some kind of fire starting material. Bic lighter, all the cool YouTube sexy devices, but also water purification. He didn't address his water system. In 72 hours, you need a lot of water, but the modern soldiers, we're too dependent on always having a bottle. Not this type, but water bottles. Water buffalo is given to us. I'm always bitching about modern soldiers losing field craft. Like, Does the Army even teach water purification and gathering water anymore? I don't know. He didn't even talk about it. Alright guys, so what do you think? What else is he missing? What else is all jacked up here? Whoever sent this to me, yeah, joke's on me for even watching it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about it down below. If you want to see more like this, also let me know. But this is an epic fail, no-go, 100%. See y'all next time.